When you're moving overseas, you usually get two trains of thought. One is get rid of absolutely everything except for two checked bags, and that's it forever and ever. Or there's the other that says take only those things that are precious to you or very practical that are very expensive wherever you're moving. At first, we were thinking about being the other kind. Why are we bringing this backpack that in over 20 years we've never used? This picnic backpack. Well, we've got a good reason for breaking the only what you love code. And I'm sitting here on my bed in my room with my beautiful headboard that's gonna go with us, by the way. And we're gonna talk about that. We've got a good reason for breaking the only what you love code with this picnic backpack. This bag doesn't represent our past or our life here in the United States. It represents our future and the lifestyle that we've always wanted to have. I hate to keep going with the 5 reasons format, but it seems to work really well for me, and I'm going to just keep going with that reason. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons why we're taking this unused picnic backpack with us. Number 1, it represents the life we want to have, not the life we've had up till now. This is aspirational packing. It's not nostalgia. It's packing with intent. This backpack symbolizes slowing down, being outside more, and becoming part of a community. One of the reasons we've never used this backpack is we've never had the lifestyle or been in a place where it was practical to use. So we live in North Carolina. Our house is rural, and so to do anything, to go anywhere, we have to pack up the car and drive somewhere. And as most Americans know, communities in America are not really set up the same way as communities in Europe. European communities were founded by Romans and in the medieval era, and those communities were based around the necessity of being a social group, of needing each other. So people aren't invading you, so you're able to trade goods and services, and just to have that sense of community. That's how they were built. In North Carolina, we're used to car-based living and almost subtropical weather at this point. We've gone, in the last 10 years, we've gone from a 7B gardening zone to an 8A gardening zone. So we're actually getting hotter, as we know. That's happening. There are unpredictable storms in North Carolina. The heat has been worse this year, and so have the storms been worse this year. Just recently, a few weeks ago, a river that I've never known to flood since we've lived here flooded so badly that it wiped out stuff uphill from it. My doctor's office isn't even open until October this year because the river overflowed its banks, because we got 8 to 10 inches of rain in just a few hours. And so we're seeing more and more of these extremes, and now all of our parks in the area are closed down because of the flood damage, and it's going to take a long time to get them back again. Our sewage treatment plant overflowed. So guess what? Sewage flowed into the river, and they had a no drink order for city livers. Luckily, we have a well, and we are on a plateau, so our house didn't flood, but we're just seeing more and more extremes of weather. And frankly, Europeans have been preparing for that, where the US has been like, no, let's deregulate everything and go back to the way we used to do stuff. Regardless of all of that, spring and fall are very short windows, and they're the comfortable windows to go do things like picnicking and going places like that. Several communities have like a picnic on the lawn while you're watching a movie kind of thing. You almost have to pay for all of them, but there are a few where it's free for the community to go and picnic on the lawn and watch a movie. But again, it might be a 25-minute drive to get there. In contrast, France offers urban access to outdoor spaces, to beautiful parks and plazas, and even green spaces where people can picnic and watch the river go by. All of these things come without needing a car to get there. Okay, I'm going to show you what's in here before I go on to number 3. So one of the reasons we decided to take this, number 1, this could be a soup thermos, or it could be a bottle of wine. That's a nice little soup thermos. Here's another little water bottle or something of that nature on this side. That's not quite big enough for a wine bottle, but you know, maybe some Perrier or Evian or something. And then these pockets are empty for whatever you might want to take along, an extra little hand towel or washcloth or something of that nature. And then you have this big, look at this, look at this. I hope you can see the whole picture. So I'll turn it this way so you can see everything. So we have, these are kind of a metal, but I think they're like stainless steel coated, but with plastic handles. So we have 2 sets of spoons, knives, and forks. We have 2 lovely sized napkins and 2 I think it's 2 placemats in here. Let's open her up. These have been washed in the past, they just haven't been used. So looky here. We have this little tiny cutting board, this napkin. Do we only have 1 napkin? Am I missing a napkin? That's gonna have to change. And a small tablecloth to spread out on, to spread your picnic on. I wonder what happened to that other napkin. I have some pretty red napkins that would work too, so that'll work. And then we have 2 plates. They look glass, but they're not. They're sturdy plastic plates. I was excited when I saw this the first time, and we just never were able to find a way to love it. Okay, we've got a little bread knife over here. Might need to cut a little loaf of bread there. Make some slices. That fits in some little slots. We of course have our wine opener, and we also have a cork to stick in it, a very pretty one too, with little silver grape leaves on it, that hangs there and can stick in the bottle and take home for what you don't drink. We have this, and I'm not sure, oh, there's the other napkin, duh. The other napkin's just up here being decorative. And then I'm not sure what these are. Oh, they're little salt and pepper shakers. That's so cute. Okay, so again, I've had this for 20 years. I've never really explored it. And we have 2 little wine glasses, and then 2 cups that are like sippy cups. They have a lid, so you have stuff that won't slosh out when you're drinking. Cute little, these here are tiny little wine glasses. I'll hone in on them when I'm editing the video. They're little wine glasses and little bottles. They're all little wine charms is what they are. So if you meet up with other people and you're sharing a bottle of wine, each person can get a charm for their own glass that they've brought, because we only have 2, so that they can decide and tell whose glass is whose. Isn't that cool? That's fun. Anyway, so we have all of that, and I think that's an amazing bunch of stuff to be able to have. Uh-oh, I forgot to put you back there. All right, cutting board, back on the plates. That is the lifestyle I want to represent when we move to France. And it doesn't even matter where we move. We're sure we're going to move to a more urban area. We don't want to have a car. We might want to rent a car at some point to go into the towns that don't have a train station. But I think for the first couple of years at least, we're going to have so much to explore without a car, just using the train system. I don't think we're going to need it. There are even villages in the Dordogne area that I want to visit, like the cave painting places, but they have train station stops, so we can get there. All right, and then the back side of this is the little floor of the cooler, but the back side of this can be loosened up and made into a cooler to put all of your things that you want to keep cold. So I love that about it. And then of course there's the backpack itself. That is the thing we're taking with us that is not sentimental, but as I said before, it represents the lifestyle that we want to lead, that we're excited about leading. The third reason that we're taking this is that communal spaces are a cultural norm in France. In North Carolina, there are actually very few public spaces that you can use without a reservation, and there are even fewer that you can use without having to take a car to get there. Yes, there are some pre-planned communities or towns that are walkable, but they're also extremely expensive. We can't afford to live there. So as I said before, French and European communities were built with communal outdoor spaces in mind. Parks, plazas, even riverbanks are often very vibrant social communities, and nobody's gonna frown at you or look at you funny for having a glass of wine while you're sitting on the riverbank and eating your picnic. So the backpack kind of embodies a slower, more intentional pace. That's my number 4 reason. It's about everyday leisure or leisure, however you want to say it, rather than event-based entertainment. There's no big production here. You take your backpack and your dog out the door, because your dog's welcome in the markets and everywhere else, and you stop at the markets along the way and grab a few bits and bobs on your way to your picnic. The design of this bag even assumes the lifestyle. I actually thought about selling it, and I got online to see how much it sells for, and I was like, no, it's not worth getting rid of. We're keeping this bad boy because this is representative of what we want. It's a symbol of the life that we're going toward and that we want to live. It's a promise we're making to ourselves. We're not just moving for a change of scenery, we're moving for a change of lifestyle. We could leave it behind. It's 20 years old. The stuff's made of plastic. It's never even seen a sandwich. That little cutting board, not a scratch on it. But we're choosing to bring it because it represents the life that we're looking forward to having. When we were going through our closet to look and see some of the stuff we need to get rid of, that's when my husband pulled this out. I had another that was just a little pack that has 2 cups and 2 napkins and a corkscrew in one side, and held 1 bottle of wine. And we were like, well, do we really need that small one? And then my husband pulled this one out and said, well, I have this one that's even older than the one you have, and we've never used it. What are we doing? So we're taking this because it represents a life where there's time to pause, to sit under the trees, and to enjoy a meal, even a simple one, with each other. And as I said, our little dog. So this backpack is just one of the things we've decided to bring, even if it doesn't fit in a suitcase. I mean, that's why we're planning to look into a partial container to ship our things that we're not taking with us on the plane, because we want to keep with us the things that matter. When I went to visit my Aunt Susie and Uncle Don in Missouri, and my bonus mom, when I told them we were planning on just purging everything and only taking a couple checked bags with us, they were both saying, why? Why would you get rid of all your precious things, the things that give you good memories, the things that make you happy? You're going to want those around you when you feel homesick, or when you miss people, or when you just want to have something familiar that feels like something you can hold on to when things seem like they're alien to you. I've thought about it ever since, and Dale and I realize that that's true. We don't want to leave our precious things behind, that when we look at them, it makes us feel good about something. I want to take that. I'm going to be taking this. These 4 panels are the panels of an old pie safe that belonged to my grandmother Hacky. And this is like tin punch stars. I grew up seeing that in my grandma Hacky's place, and I traveled with it all over the country. Everywhere I moved, that pie safe went with me until one day it was just so old that it just fell apart. I just carried the pieces with me after that until my husband a few years ago decided to rescue the panels and polish it up and turn it into a headboard for me. And I realized I don't want to leave that. I don't want to leave that behind. Even if I don't have a place to put it up right away until we maybe have bought something in France, I don't want to leave it. That's a lifetime of memories. Every time I look at it, I can think of a new memory of my childhood growing up and hanging out with my grandma Hacky, and hanging out with Janet, my stepmom, and hanging out with my cousins and friends and all the people who came and went there. So anyway, that's why we're planning, instead of purging everything, we're planning on getting a partial shipping container or finding a service that can ship these big items safely. And that's why we're bringing that silly, never used picnic backpack. It's not just about memories, it's about the life we're stepping into. In the meantime, please hit that like button and subscribe and come along with. I would enjoy any comments that you have to put for me down below, anything that you would like me to talk about or discuss, places we might have been scouting, places we've been to before. Just let me know what you want to hear about. See you soon. Bye.